What's going on, everybody? Stan back with another Moonshine talking, and today we're going to be talking album reviews. And the album that we're going to be reviewing here is going to be the latest from High on Fire, Cometh the Storm. That's a weird break in the action. I just had to sneeze, so I had to pause this thing. But anyhow, this came out on the 19th of April, last week, last Friday, on MNRK Heavy. It is High on Fire's ninth studio album. It is the first one since 2018, Electric Messiah, which ironically won a Grammy, which I find that fascinating. Every once in a while, the Grammys gets it right, but yeah, that's kind of wild to think that High on Fire won a Grammy. That's pretty interesting. But this one is 11 tracks. It's 58 minutes long. The band itself it's Matt Pike on guitars and vocals, Jeff Matz, who's on bass and rhythm guitars, and new drummer Cody Willis. Uh, the, the basic songwriting core of High on Fire for many years now has been Matt Pike and Jeff Matz. Jeff Matz, he joined the band in, I think he joined it on or right after Death is the Communion on that album. I think it was the first, I believe the first three albums was the original band, and then he joined the band, and since then it's just been him and Matt Pike, and then they've had this is a couple drummers. But High on Fire, if you're not familiar with them, they were a band that formed in 1998 from the ashes of Sleep. Sleep was a very popular, very well known, revered stoner metal band from San Francisco, California. Uh, Sleep's Holy Mountain, Dope Smoker, a couple of the other albums that they did. They're a very Sabbath laden, doom stoner band. You know, some people like them, some people don't. Some people think it's too slow and too droning and all that sort of stuff. I love Sleep. They're a fantastic band. I've always loved them since I first heard them. Um, but yeah, when they broke up, Matt Pike went on to form High on Fire. They did a demo in '99. Their first album, Art of Self Defense, came out in June of 2000, and they've been pumping out stuff and touring and doing things ever since. Matt's got another band, Matt Pike versus the Automaton, which I haven't heard yet. I've seen it a couple times in my local record store. I just haven't picked one up to check it out, but I should probably do that because I do enjoy a lot of Matt Pike's work. He's up there with as far as stuff that I listened to when I was younger, and musicians that are still pumping things out, like a Josh Homme, or even like Kirk from Crowbar, people like that, like bands I really loved, and they're not only doing their normal thing that everyone's familiar with, but they're branching out and doing other things. Uh, but yeah, so this album is it also had Kurt Ballou. I'm probably mispronouncing that. He produced it, and it's brutal. I'll probably end up cutting this out, but gosh damn, you sneeze and then your nose starts running, and I'm sitting there to keep playing with it like a friggin' cokehead. But no, I just want to make sure I didn't have any boogies or anything, but I had to blow my nose because I can't keep having it run like that. So anyhow, back to the album. Back to the album review. This freaking chaotic mess. It's like, why do you watch me? Why are you watching this? This is horrible. So poorly planned and lo-fi and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, as far as the album goes, again, it was Kurt Ballou produced it. They produced it. The album was done in California. Matt Pike, Jeff Matz, Cody Willis, who's their new drummer. The vocals. The thing with High on Fire is that they kind of have like I don't want to say so much a formula, but they do have a sound, and it's a signature sound. I don't like saying formula because it almost kind of sounds like they're just kind of paint by numbers or phoning it in or what have you. So I don't really like to say that a band has a formula, even though like I guess you could make a case somebody like AC/DC has a formula. But again, they have a signature sound, something their fans are familiar with. as we all know, when bands that we like or love, they start experimenting too much, then they run the risk of people saying that either they're selling out or it's not the same band. Maybe they should change their name, all sorts of stuff like that. So there is a point where bands, good, bad, or indifferent, they kind of have to stick to a certain type of style that they do to a degree, because if not, then the diehards start losing their shit and start calling them all sorts of things, like all sorts of pejoratives like sell out and then this and that and all that. But so I would say that their sound overall is, it's of the it's of that doom stoner, real fuzzy, real riff laden, real riff heavy, very, very bottom heavy, gritty, visceral, throw in a thousand other adjectives if you want. Lots of meat and potatoes, aggressive riffs and pounding drums, almost tribal like. And you got Matt Pike. He's got his very raspy vocals. He's not like a operatic singer. He's not going to be doing like friggin' I don't know, name a, he's not gonna be playing Madison Square Garden doing like friggin' Ave Maria or some shit. But yeah, he's got very, very raspy, gravelly vocals. And then he has these very wild lyrics. I saw an interview where the interviewer referred to it as esoteric lyrics. Like he reads a lot of stuff like Lovecraft and a bunch of other horror writers. He named a couple of them, but I can't remember which ones he named. But he reads a lot of horror writers and comes up with inspiration through that sort of stuff, reading books on the Anunnaki and things of that. All that sort of like what people kind of consider far out type of stuff. But it makes for, whether you believe, don't believe, whatever the case might be, it does make for good fodder for writing lyrics, books, movies, all that sort of stuff. It's always, at least it's fantastic enough where you can be creative and take a little creative license and come up with something original of your own. But yeah, the guitars are fuzzy and gritty, but they tend to have you can still hear everything. Like he's very meticulous and deliberate in the way that he creates his tone and his style. He's at times very bluesy with the guitar playing, but he always stays with what brung him to the dance, with the fuzzy, nasty, gritty, heavy riff, very Sabbath oriented, stonery doom type of riffs and style of playing. The bass is always, it's very thick and deep and pulsing, and then you got the drums, which again are they're very pounding, almost like war drums, very, very tribalistic beats in a lot of the stuff that High on Fire play. And that pretty much, you get that, and that's pretty much the foundation. And then you'll get Matt Pike's leads are very bluesy. Sometimes they're kind of jazzy at times, and a bit soulful. And he definitely, there's lots of character to the leads that he plays. So that's pretty much my overall synopsis of High on Fire and what you can expect from them as a band overall. That's what you get from this album. They don't deviate in the sense that they start bringing in like friggin' didgeridoos and stuff like that. It's just it's High on Fire. You know what you're gonna get when you get a High on Fire album, and it's awesome every time. So I'm not complaining. But to go deeper into some of the songs that I really liked, uh, the first half, if you will, of the album was really good, but I think really it started to step up on the second half of it. The songs got really, really strong, even though the first half was really good. Like Lamb's Bread is a good opener. Can't really go wrong with that. Then it leads into Burning Down, which that's one of the main singles that probably a lot of people have been hearing recently and playing videos. I've been putting it on the Pandora at my job, and that's the one they're playing a lot, is Burning Down. Cometh the Storm's a really good one. That's another single, another video that I think you keep seeing on YouTube. But then, as for, I would say probably Darker Fleece, which is the closer of the album, that one's fantastic. It's probably the most trad doomy kind of song that they do on the entire album, but it's got a very dope smokerish. If you're familiar with Sleep and Dope Smoker, it's got that sort of vibe to it. Lots of sustained riffs, lots of trills and slides, stuff like that. It's a very, it's good. I, if there was a way to close this album, this was the way to do it. Tough Guy's another one. That's such an aptly titled name for a song because it's just 3.5 minutes of total badassery and just straight up. It's just a meat and potatoes metal song. You can't go wrong with that. It's killer. And then Lightning Beard is another. That's another good one. That's the one where I said there's kind of when Matt Pike starts venturing into more of the jazzier elements of some of the style that he and the band play. That's kind of where you get more like the jazzier elements of what they do is Lightning Beard. And yeah, overall, I would say that probably this album is a 4 out of 5 for me. Uh, it could be a little bit more, but I would say 4 out of 5 is probably a nice solid rating to give it. I'd go as far as to if I were to create a ranking system, I would give it 4 out of 5 stank faces. I was thinking the horns and all that stuff kind of gets confusing with how many horns you get, one or two or three or four or whatever the deal is. Or is this one and this is two? You do like the Maloik or whatever. But I would say if we were going to rank it, we're going to call it 4 out of 5 stank faces. That's what we're going to give this. And I would recommend picking it up if you're into more doom, more stoner, more like traditional heavy metal. You're definitely gonna love this album. High on Fire is a fantastic band. Uh, I think I mentioned it previously. Like I have a couple of their albums on CD. I just bought a couple more when I did this. I bought a bunch of stuff from MNRK when I got this album and I had more, but apparently I was going through trying to figure out what I had, and I'm pretty sure that somebody took. Like, I loaned one out. I think I loaned Blessed Black Wings out to a friend of mine, and he never gave it back to me. So now I got to buy a new copy of that. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on High on Fire, Cometh the Storm. Go grab it. You can get it probably anywhere at this point, and it's definitely worth the listen. Whether you get it on vinyl or CD, whatever the case is, cassette. I don't know if they're doing cassettes, but it is definitely one that I would pick up. It's definitely a keeper. It's definitely going to be high up on the list of 2024 for me as far as best albums of the year. And that's my review. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the content. I hope you enjoy my babbling. Uh, and yeah, this is what I'm gonna be doing. I did this, do another one. I'm gonna be doing a couple more album reviews here coming up because I got I went and listened to Melvin's new one a few times. Ace Frehley, that one I finally got to listen to. I had to wait on that one, but yeah, be doing a couple album reviews. I'm probably gonna take some time, throw up some of my old wrestling matches again. I don't know if I'm gonna do commentary tracks with them. I'm still trying to work out the bugs on that. I think I might finally stop being lazy and download Zoom so I can start reaching out to people. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't bore you to tears. I know that I have a face for radio and a voice for silent movies, but I'm glad that you could stop in and listen to me babble. Anyhow, uh, as always, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. I hope everyone has a good day. Hope you have a good weekend, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.